Hey.
Hello, Sekou. How are you?
Doing fine. How are you?
Good. It's a great day in California.
Well, it's a little bit of a gloomy day here in Jersey, but it's hot and muggy and sticky, and I guess it's about normal.
Hey, listen, you and I have something in common.
What's that?
That we both worked for Keller Williams.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about your journey. And did it start with Keller Williams or did it start some other way?
Oh yeah, no, I was in a very small independent for a few years. I started my business as I used to say at the dirty penny of real estate. Excuse me. And then I moved to a very large independent company that really helped me to see real estate from a more powerful perspective. And then I joined KW with the idea of sort of growing a business, growing the with the profit share and the so-called equity that
that they offer. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what oddly enough is I stopped at KW and went back to the independent.
Ooh.
Right. So most people don't know this story. You're the only one that's got this story. I stopped at KW and went back to the independent because I wasn't really a fan of something felt off in the culture there. Like it didn't match up, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And so I thought the answer was, let me just go back to the mom and pop that I was at, because I felt like a family there. And, and then my buddy, Dave DeVoe, started his group there at the independent company and then moved to KW in order to do expansion and asked me to come with him. And I went to KW and was doing expansion. And it was a good thing, right? It was a good thing. We learned a lot about the business. We learned a lot about growing a business. And we learned about what that feeling that I had before. We learned what that challenge was, right? We learned what the big gap between the culture and the reality was. And that's how I ended up here at EXP, and well, I'll get into that later. But I hope that was a little brief history of how we did.
Yes. And so you discovered EXP and your career has continued to blossom, huh?
Yeah, well, so what we were doing at Keller was we were working the expansion system. They had this thing called ESO, Expansion Systems Operational Organization or something like that. And we were doing very well. Like we were doing very well. But, and we all know that the but is there, right? So what was happening was that because the Keller model was one of how should you say it? Like it's a bunch of independent mindsets sort of running a franchise that's supposed to have some structure to it. We kept butting heads with the local leadership and ownership about what the responsibilities of the trainers and coaches and leaders at the market center was versus what our agents were getting. Oh. And it just wasn't matching up, right? And so with all due respect, I mean, they laid out some really decent plans. It's just the execution was clunky, right? And that clunkiness was costing, tens of thousands of dollars, and we were losing agents, and and we thought it was us. Like we honestly thought, look at selfish cause. What were we doing wrong? What it finally boiled down to is that the audio and the visual weren't matching up. It looked like a bad old school kung fu flick.
Well, at least it was entertaining.
Yeah, well, and that it was. It definitely was entertaining. We had some good times and we grew some good business. We just reached a point where like there was nobody that would stand next to us to help us take our business to the next level.
That's right.
And it was always like we were trying to pay to catch up to someone else. Like we were always trying to invest in the business, invest in the education, invest in this and that and the other thing. And it would just turn into another pitch for another level of services that we had to pay for. And in the end, when we started courting other agencies, we went to a few. We went to the Compass and we went to this one and that one. And we were trying to figure out if there was a better way to do the Frankenstein monster that we've been doing, right? Like putting pieces together,
creating success.
Trying to create success. And it wasn't until we came to have dinner with our sponsors at EXP, right? We were having dinner, and it was a pretty big dinner. There was a few producers at this table, and I don't know if you're familiar with the term fighting over the check, right? They were fighting to pay the check, right? But what we were used to do was the Frankenstein. What we were used to doing was the Frankenstein monster, putting it together, trying to create success. And here we were at a table with people who were literally snatching the pen out of our hands and writing down exactly who we should talk to and where we should go and what website we should go to in order to create this business that we wanted. And it was just like an air and a culture of giving that, to be very honest, we didn't even think was real until maybe 18 months in after we had joined. I make this statement a lot. I say that, well, I made a huge mistake when we came over to EXP, and everybody's like, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? And I'm like, I just thought it was going to be a better version of what we had done before. I thought it was going to be a better version of KW, or I thought it was going to be a better version of these independents or Remax or something like that. And I found out that it was beyond what I could expect. We do so much more than the norm that we have to paint this with a different brush. We have to look at it through a different lens. The future of real estate is here, and we are doing it, and we're inviting other people to come and take a look and to participate and to play along, ride along on the coaster with us, the space coaster, right?
Yeah.
And like, whereas I would normally be stressed out about, how do I get to this place or how do I do this thing? I have at my fingertips. I've spoken to the president. I've spoken to the vice president. I've been able to get folks on the line.
Yes,
that
they're very approachable, aren't they?
Yeah, like what's funny is that I was having a hard time figuring out lead gen and lead distribution for the this extended team that I have now, right? And I got on the line with Kyle Whistle, and Kyle just said, brother, there's an easy button. Just push the easy button. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, get on the line with Jay Kinder. Get on the line with me, and let's just walk through your process and see if we can. I was like, whoa.
That easy, huh? I want an easy button.
Easy. Just push the easy button. I was like, all right, my fault.
Okay.
And so I'm here to be the easy button for the people that I attract now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
so you run as a team or as a solo agent? And
I do run as a team. I don't do anything by myself anymore. I'm a huge fan of the wolf pack. That the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives, right? And so,
right.
And then my coaching, I do my coaching daily with the agents that are in our universe. The secret to this business is consistency and accountability, right? We know this, right?
Yes.
And so all I'm looking to do is to pass that information. I'm just passing all the secrets we have on to the agents in our universe.
Right. And there's the EXP giving spirit right there.
Right. And so it's hard for people to believe.
Yeah.
I have agents in my group coaching sessions, and they're like, what's the catch? And I'm like, the catch is that I demand that you are consistent, and I demand that you are accountable. There's your catch. Okay. Without consistency, without accountability, you got to go. Get out. I don't care how much you pay. Get out. And the results are just, the proof is in the pudding. We're 15 days into the month, and the agents in our universe, the agents that we've been attracting, have put over $50 million in volume under contract in 15 days. And these are mostly new agents. So we've been having a great time.
Good. What was when you moved over and you got your team going, was there a problem that you had solved by doing that move?
And so full disclosure, I didn't even know I was solving a problem.
Okay.
Right.
Hindsight.
So yeah, man, like I had a problem. And so the way that our team just sort of activates is that we either push through it or we overcome it. We start ignoring problems and start really growing. We look at failures as lessons, and right. And so we were so used to that Frankenstein monster of success. We were so used to layers upon layers of redundant systems in order to make sure that we were active, that when we came over to EXP, we were still running those redundant systems, and we didn't have to. It was
got to find the easy button.
Yes, the easy button came back, right? And so one of the largest problems that I think that we were facing as agents in all of the other brands that we were with, and especially in KW, was that we were still looking at this business as a great job. We were still showing up as employees. And it wasn't until we got to the table at EXP where we started to look at this business for what it was. It is our business, and it's up to us to run the business. And, if we look at our tools, we look at how to tamp down costs and how to increase productivity. Well, I mean, as one simple example, KV Core. KV, we pushed a simple button. We've got 125 leads a week coming in each. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And before we had to put 6 systems together to get the same kind of results, So I would say that the biggest problem that we solved was our productivity, and in the business world, and looking at this business like a business, and coming to EXP with the equity, with the revenue share, with the camaraderie and the real cooperation. It just took off. It took off.
Yes. For me, it catapulted my business because I now had a connection with Icon agents who were already being successful, and their classes were all the time. So I always wanted to be a fly on the wall and listen
in that session.
the successful agents, and they're just not talking, But at EXP, I could log into a class, and there they were. So let me take you back a little bit and ask you, if you go back in time and you could tell yourself one thing as a new agent, what would that be?
Don't wait. Make a mess.
Just do it.
Just do it. Don't wait. Like, so everything that I've been sort of taught and learned about being a great employee, right? Being a self-starter and having initiative and this and that, all of that crap is clogging the way for your growth and your development and your explosion, right? And so I, like so many others, felt like my best asset was the way that I communicated with my clients and customers. I'm a people person, damn it, and people like me. And this, I didn't spend any time making the mess behind the scenes, and growing. And I would tell my younger self, dude, make a mess. Don't worry so much about that other crap. Just put your hands in the mud and make stuff.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And so, gosh, when you get to a level that you're at where you're coaching people and you've got a successful business and lots of people, listening to you, where do you go for inspiration and lessons?
Well, my answer is twofold. I'm going to give you the pro version, and then I'm going to whisper the non-professional version to you, right? So the pro version is I have I don't know how else to put this. I have a system of support in my sponsor line and in my downline that has billions of dollars worth of business in it. So when I need an answer, all I have to do is push that easy button, and I've got 6 or 7 people that I could talk to about business and growth. My buddy, my brother, Dave DeVoe, my business partner, he's like a magnifying glass for mindset. work. Like he constantly challenges me to look at, you know, the business from the mindset perspective, not just the dollars and cents perspective. So we recharge each other there. Uh, but secretly, don't tell anyone. But the group coaching that we do, right? The 8 o'clock call, the one at night, the one where we encourage wine and whiskey and an adult juice, where we can put our feet up and relax, right? That call is the most refreshing thing that comes my way, where we're just working through the day, sort of deconstructing what we did and what we want to do tomorrow. It is the easiest, it is the simplest, it is the most valuable hour of my entire day professionally. You know, I got 5 kids. I get to do dad stuff and hang out and, you know, but that 1 hour call with the agents, whether it's a successful day or a sour day, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the most refreshing hours of my life.
You feel like you're supposed to be the teacher, and really what you're doing is taking all of what they're learning in. You're like, oh wow,
yeah.
What
watching them interact
thought.
with each other, watching them coach each other, watching them lead each other is like, you know, if I was a papa bird kicking my birds out of the nest and watching them fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is encouraging. It's powerful. And more importantly, man, it refreshes my battery almost daily, man.
Yeah. You know, I was listening to one of those icon agents, and he said something that just really struck me. And that was, don't be so hard on yourself. Put it aside and take the next step.
Yep.
You're not rotten. You're not bad. You're not a failure. Just go to the next, do the next thing. Just go.
My team, right? So we're an icon team.
Yeah.
The thing that I would say to you as an icon agent, or anybody as an icon agent, is does it help you to hurt you? Right. So if you're like, oh, that sucks, and this and that, take it, write it in your bum out book, write it down in your professional fail journal.
Acknowledge it, right?
Acknowledge
it for a minute. You can always look back at it.
And then you can win using those things, right? So this is my $1 million tip for anybody listening.
Okay.
All right. So if you are like, let's say you're a lead generating agent and you're on the phones with FSBOs and expireds, right? And you're getting a lot of no, right? The thing that I do, and I do this every day, is whatever the person says that gets me to hang up before them, I write it down in my book. And I start looking for patterns and things that repeat. So if, like, let's say they say, oh, Janice, I'm all good. I don't need an agent. I don't want to pay a commission. And you hang up first and you write that down. And you notice that there's 5 of those in a week, that is the thing that's got you to hang up the most. Then that's the one thing that you really need to focus on overcoming. That's the one objection that you've got to work on. You don't have to work on 40 objections. It's just that one that's stumping you.
So are you saying that you want to have a comeback prepared when they push you away, so that you can kind of end it with a thought? Or
yes. And I believe that the best objection handler in the world is just another great question. That most of the time we don't think about the next question because we stay in that rejection. We stay in that mindset. And so 9 out of 10 times, the best way to overcome that, the best comeback, so to speak, objection handler is, oh, you don't want to pay a commission? I get that. Is that the only reason why you're not working with a professional?
Yeah.
And I go, well, then forget the commission. Let's just talk strategy for a little while. And when we do that, they're like, oh, well, you just want to talk? And I'm like, yeah. Janice, the key to my success is one phrase, and one phrase only. I just want to see if it makes sense for us to work together.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's it.
Just takes the pressure off, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't want to list? Okay, that's great. I don't know if I want your listing. I just want to see if it makes sense for us to work together.
Yeah. Right on. Well, that's a good note to end this conversation on. Awesome. And I can't thank you again, for just talking with me and sharing some of your ideas. And I hope to see you again soon.
You know I will. I want to end this on that beautiful picture behind you. Did you do that yourself?
The big long one?
Yeah.
No, that's an ancient photo of San Francisco.
Oh,
And
get
it's
out of here.
probably from 1850.
Okay. Well, no, you didn't do that one.
I didn't do that one. There's only 2 of them, and one guy doesn't know that ours exists.
Wow.
We've got an ad, right? So we found an ad in the paper, and he's like, "Woohoo! I got the only, I think it's
Copy
a
of this thing.
watercolor.
Yeah.
I think it's a watercolor of it." So anyway, no, it's a family heirloom.
Well, that is nice. I love it. All right.
Thank you.
I absolutely love talking to you. I absolutely love hanging out with you. And I cannot wait to see where we grow from these things.
Yes. Well, I'm going to pop into one of your 8 o'clock.
Come on in.
Adult beverage classes.
You're more than welcome. You have a good time. You laugh a little bit. And your agents will do a lot of business.
Yeah, that's what I'm up for. Yeah, because I'm mentoring quite a few agents and always inviting people in because it's such a wonderful place to have success.
Yes. Oh, this is and just between you and I and the walls, don't tell anybody out there that's watching, right? This is where mentors can send their agents to apply this stuff that they've mentored them on. Okay. Right? Because I'm going to hold them accountable to what they say they want to do. And we're not on the line. So our accountability is going to be in their face. You said you wanted X. What did you do instead of that? What did you do instead of your dreams? It's really great.
Yeah. Accountability is very important. It's also a little bit scary.
It's a lot of bit scary. And if it's applied right, it should be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right. You said you wanted to do 24 deals, this month, and you're tracking to do 12. It seems like you're only committed to the 12 and not to the 24. What do I need to do to get your commitment level up? How do I hold you accountable for that? And people disappear because of that. People will be like, we encourage them to come back. Anyway, you're more than welcome. You're going to have a great time.
All right. You have a great time. I'll see you later.
See you later.